There are moments in life when holding on feels easier than letting go. Familiarity becomes comfort, even when it's toxic. But as the Stoics remind us, attachment is often the root of our suffering. The fear of change, the weight of history, and the illusion of control all bind us to people and situations long after they've served their purpose. The first sign it's time to let go is when peace leaves the room every time they enter. If their presence drains you more than it builds you, you're not growing, you're surviving. Marcus Aurelius taught us to never let another's chaos destroy your inner peace. If you have to fight your own spirit to keep someone in your life, you've already lost something more valuable than their presence, your clarity. The second sign is when your values no longer align. You don't need to argue. You don't need to prove anything. If you find yourself constantly shrinking to avoid conflict or pretending to agree just to maintain connection, that's not harmony, it's self-abandonment. The Stoic path demands alignment between thought, word, and deed. When someone forces you off that path, you must question their place in your journey. The third sign, when growth feels impossible. Seneca warned us that life is short, but if we waste it on what doesn't serve our highest self, it becomes even shorter. If someone keeps you stuck in cycles of guilt, shame, or stagnation, you're not being loyal, you're being delayed. Letting go doesn't mean you failed, it means you're finally choosing to evolve. And evolution, my friend, begins with courage. The fourth sign it's time to let go is when your peace becomes a negotiation. If your emotional well-being depends on their mood, their choices, or their approval, you're not living freely, you're living conditionally. Epictetus taught that freedom begins the moment we stop needing permission to be ourselves. If someone constantly holds your serenity hostage, that relationship isn't love, it's control. The fifth sign is perhaps the hardest to admit. When love has become a memory, not a present reality. You may remember who they used to be, how it felt in the beginning, or what you hoped they'd become. But the Stoic doesn't live in the past or fantasize about potential. The Stoic lives in what is. And if what is hurts more than it heals, weakens more than it strengthens, then it's time to detach, not from love itself, but from the illusion you've been clinging to. Letting go is not an act of cruelty, it's an act of mercy. Mercy for yourself, mercy for your future. You're not abandoning someone, you're reclaiming your boundaries, your peace, your purpose. The Stoics remind us, you were not made to be tethered to anything that keeps you small. You were made to rise, to endure, to act with reason, not reaction. And sometimes, the most reasonable act is to walk away, not with bitterness, but with wisdom. Holding on can feel brave, but often it's a disguise for fear. Fear of being alone, fear of uncertainty. But you must remember, solitude is not a punishment. It's where clarity is born. When you step into the quiet, you don't lose yourself. You find what was buried under the noise. You rediscover the still, unwavering part of you that already knows the truth. You're not here to carry everyone. You're here to carry your light. Here's the truth no one likes to hear. Not everyone who walks with you deserves to stay with you. And holding on to people who drain your energy doesn't make you loyal. It makes you unavailable to your own growth. Marcus Aurelius said, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, only what you do." Your duty is to yourself first, because no one is coming to save you, and no one will protect your peace like you will. But if this message is resonating, it's probably because some part of you already knows who you need to walk away from. And if you're still here, still listening, still hungry to live a stronger, more stoic life, then don't just watch this and scroll away. Subscribe now. This channel is for the few who dare to live above emotion, above noise, above the chaos. Each week, we bring you tools, tactics, and timeless wisdom to sharpen your mind and strengthen your soul. Hit that subscribe button. Be part of a mindset revolution. The Stoics didn't waste time where there was no growth. They didn't apologize for protecting their energy. And neither should you. Because the energy you spend explaining, justifying, or hoping for someone to change is energy stolen from your mission, your clarity, your power. You were not born to fix others. You were born to master yourself. So if something or someone is blurring your vision, it's time to clear the lens. And clarity begins with the courage to let go. Letting go doesn't always mean confrontation. Sometimes the most stoic response is simply distance, quietly reclaiming your space, silently removing your energy from places where it's not respected. Seneca once wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." That's not cold, it's clarity. The Stoics believed that our surroundings shape our soul. So if you're surrounded by people who gossip, doubt you, or subtly undermine your confidence, you are training your mind to tolerate disrespect. And the more you tolerate, the more you drift from your purpose. You don't need a dramatic exit. You don't need to explain your silence. Just move. Choose your peace. Set boundaries that are not up for negotiation. Most people won't understand it, and they're not supposed to. Because your discipline, your calm, your focus, they're not for everyone. They're for those building something sacred within. Remember, saying no is a decision. Saying, "I've had enough," is a decision. Choosing who gets access to your time, your energy, your mind, that's not selfish, it's self-respect. And when you build your life with that kind of precision, you stop chasing validation and start attracting power. Not loud, not forceful, but silent and undeniable. That's the Stoic way. And that's how you build a life no one can shake. In the end, the act of letting go is not a loss. It's a beginning. It's the quiet rebellion of choosing yourself when the world demands your compromise. The Stoics didn't teach us to carry everything or everyone. They taught us to carry only what serves our virtue, our clarity, our purpose. Epictetus once said, "He who is not master of himself is a slave," and every time you hold on to what no longer belongs, you forfeit that mastery. You were not made to carry dead weight. You were not made to explain your worth to those committed to misunderstanding you. You were made to sharpen your mind, strengthen your character, and move with quiet conviction. And to do that, you must release. Release the people, habits, and thoughts that cloud your vision, that dull your edge, that block your path. Letting go isn't weakness, it's alignment. It's the moment you stop living by default and start living by design. It's when your standards become unshakable, not because you think you're better, but because you finally remember who you are. So now ask yourself this: what are you still holding on to that deep down you know is holding you back?